Hey cousins, today I am back with another video and this time it's a client inspired set, so stay tuned. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so y'all already know what I'm gonna say. First things first, we're gonna push these cuticles back. I do not care what you're doing. I don't care what nail tech you go to. If they don't push those cuticles back, please get up out that chair immediately. No, but seriously, if your nail tech is not pushing your cuticles back, that's probably why your sets are not lasting. That's probably why you're having a lot of lifting. So I'm gonna give y'all my step. After pushing back all 10 fingers, I like to go in with my cuticle E-bit. This is my ceramic cuticle bit. This is courtesy of Saviland Official. And I absolutely love this for my clients because it does not cause a heat versus using one of the diamond bits. A lot of times it will cause a little bit of friction to the client. And if you guys are shopping online with Saviland, I do have a discount code. It is nailed by Shay, so don't forget to use that. And if you've seen any of my videos before, I've always told you guys go to forward and reverse when you're using your cuticle. The reason why we do that is because you want to push that cuticle up and away from the nail plate. You do not want to push it in the wrong direction. That way it will flatten back onto the nail bed, if that makes sense. So when you are using your E-file in the forward position, you are going to the left side. And if you're using it in the reverse position, you are going to the right side. Trust me on this, I've been doing my nails this way for about 5 or 6 years now. And the retention is insane. Like I promise you guys, I will not tell you anything that I don't do. It just takes a little bit of practice and a little bit more of being repetitive at understanding how and why you're doing these things. And what I recently found out is that if you are using your sander band, you want to do it in the same direction as well. Like I said before, if we just spent all this time lifting and pushing the cuticles away from the nail plate, why would we go in a direction that's going to flatten it into the nail surface? We don't want that. So after we've carefully pushed the cuticles back with our cuticle bit, we're going to go in with our sander band. I like to use a mini sander band, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do it. Now when you're using your sander band or if you're using your cuticle bit, you do not need any type of pressure. You may have to up the RPMs when you are using the bits on different cuticles, just because some are outgrown than others. If you have a client with a little bit of tougher skin, you might have to up the RPMs just because you don't want anything that's going to snag or cause your client pain. This entire process should be very smooth and the client should not feel a thing. Now, as I said before, I'm going in with my sander band and I'm going in the same directions that I would if I were using my cuticle bit. I'm going in the reverse position for the right and I'm going in the forward position for the left. Then as always, we're going to follow through and remove the shine from the body of the nail plate. This also should not be long. If your clients are coming back to you and they have rings of fire or if they have dents in their nail plate, you have to look at what you're doing and how you're holding your E-bit. Anytime a client comes to me, they're always telling me like, oh, you're so gentle, I barely feel a thing. This should be the goal for every time you're sitting down with the client. No client should be coming in with sore fingernails, pain, or any type of discomfort. Now, that's not to say that some clients aren't just a little bit squeamish just from previous experiences, but we also want to make sure we do our best to allow our clients a very easy and calming experience when they're getting their nails. So many times I see on the internet, people are saying like, my nails are so painful, or I hate getting my nails done because it hurts. It should not be. Now, another gem that I do want to drop here, I've mentioned it before in previous videos, but this is my curette tool. It is on the end of my cuticle pusher. What this does is it allows me to scrape any excess dead skin from the nail plate. This also is a very gentle process. Your client will not feel it. They may feel like a little tug, but it's nothing painful. And even with this, you do not want to be extremely tedious. If you have used your bits properly, then there shouldn't be too much left behind. And as always, since we're lifting the cuticles previously, we want to brush in the forward position, well, back towards our client. We don't want to flatten that cuticle any way, shape, or form. Now, I know a lot of people are using the cuticle scissors, but I am old school. I'm still using my nippers. I love these down bad. These are from Acrylic Pro, and I absolutely love them. I believe they were $13 or $14, and I always use a half jaw nipper. Now, this is just my preference. You guys do not have to use a half jaw. You can use a full jaw or a quarter jaw, whichever one is best for you. When I started doing nails way back when, I realized that I love the half jaws. I don't know why. It just gives me good control and nice precision. And the same way we use our bits in one direction for certain sides, we want to use our nippers in the same direction. I'm a right-handed person, so I am starting on the right side of the cuticle. And then when I get to the left side, I turn my hand like towards the right just to get it and not nick my client. Again, like I said before, take your time. This is not a thing that you want to rush. Over time, your prep will be faster. Today, my client wanted to get a short square set. She really wanted medium, but she kind of got like a medium because of her job. And as always, I am holding their finger taut, so that way their finger can be completely straight, and I'm looking at the way their knuckle is, and it's going down to their finger. Basically, what I'm saying by that is I am following the way that their finger grows or has formed, because no tip should be crooked, and I don't care what anybody says. If your client's finger grows crooked, you need to make that tip correct, so that way it will not be crooked. That is the most laziest excuse I've ever heard in the industry, like, oh, the tip is crooked because of your nail. No. While it's true that it may be harder to adjust to making sure that that tip is correct, there are a few measurements that you can take to ensure that you do not make it crooked. So a few things I like to do if I see a person's whose finger is turned a bit to the different direction rather than just straight down, I always follow the way that their finger is formed, and I make sure that I adjust the tip to where it will line up in a straight line. Also, if I feel like it's just too impossible for me to see it when their hand is facing this way, I like to have them turn their hand around facing me, like the back of their hand is towards me. So, and I put the tip on so that way I can see exactly what they'll see once the tip is on their hand. And don't beat yourself up. If you put the tip on crooked, just take it off. Let the client know, like, hey, I'm sorry, but this looks a little bit crooked to me. Before I lay the product down, I want to make sure that we get this straight for you. Your clients will appreciate the honesty. And while, yes, it is a pain taking off that tip and putting another one on, I would rather you do that than send your client out with crooked fingers and they look at it and they're just unsatisfied with their service. It's okay to go above and beyond for your clients. I don't care what nobody is saying. Like, you have to make sure that you are providing the best service for your clients, and this is how you'll get your retention. Do also take note on how I am sizing my tips up to my client's nail bed prior to putting it on with the glue. A tip should not be too big or too small. If it's too small, it will pop up. And if it's too big, it'll just be swallowing the nail hole. So let me know if you guys want to see a more detailed video of what I mean by if it's too big or if it's too small, because that also can cause lifting on your sets as well. And then for the glue, you do not need a ton of glue. You just need a little line at the tip of the free edge, because you really don't want to put glue on a nail bed that you just sat there and took all the shine away from. That's not what we're trying to do. Now, once all the tips have been placed on my client's fingers, I'm going to go ahead and cut them down to size so I can see exactly how she wants them. And please do not rush your clients. If they want medium length and they feel like it's too long once the tip is on, it's okay. It's understandable. Sometimes it's hard to tell how it's looking until you actually keep cutting it. I no longer use tip cutters. I like to use my scissors because I feel like it just gives me a straighter line when I am cutting my tips, and also it helps me make my stilettos way sharper. So I learned to just do everything with my scissors, and I just don't even use my tip cutters anymore. And these are just regular scissors I got from Five Below. They were in an eyebrow kit and I just love them so much, and I will buy these again. I think these were only like $3. Now, once everything is cut into size, it's time to shape them. I absolutely loved using a 100 grit file, and I'm going to tell you why. This 100 grit file, it immediately debulks the nail, and if you are using light pressure, you can use it on your nail tips. However, I do want to mention this is not perfect for natural nails. This is not ideal for a natural nail. It is too rough and grit to use on a natural nail. Now, since my client is getting these square nails, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do my tips to make sure that they are straight with the application. I always want to make sure that I break the skin away from the nail tip. Even if it's not on there, I still make it a habit to make sure that there is no glue touching the tip with the skin, because I don't want to cut my client. I'm making sure that I'm holding my file real nice and tight, and I'm holding it in an up position, so it's basically like vertical. Is that vertical? Yeah, it's vertical to my client's sidewalls, and then when I'm going to the free edge, I am just going down. Now, when I say this, I mean, like, I'm not going up and down in the direction on the free edge. I'm literally just filing downward in a slow motion to make sure that shape is nice and crisp at the front. So many times I have went like a seesaw motion on the free edge, and it just ruined the entire shape of the nail, but this way I found is much easier and much better, and I have amazing results. Also, don't be afraid to hold your client's finger and tip like in the middle of it when you are filing the free edge, because if you are using too much pressure, it may break, and sometimes the clients do feel that pull on their nail, and you don't want that to upset them. As a nail tech, it's really just small things that you have to change in order to make sure that your service is just top tier for your clients, and they will definitely appreciate everything that you do. Now, one thing that I recently changed was using my sander band to blend in the natural tips to the natural nail. I used to use my hand file for this, but it's so bulky, and honestly, it's not really that good for my wrist. So going in with my sander band allows me to get it nice and tight, and also work faster in blending my tips in, and that way I won't have to hurt my wrist or my client. And again, like I said, light pressure. You don't want to do this for too long. You're just blending it in. You are not trying to debulk the tip or anything. Now, the nail tips that I use are pretty thin, so if you have a thicker nail tip, I don't know what to say to you. I don't use thicker tips for that reason, because it does take a lot of time to blend it into the nail plate. Now, these tips I got from Shein, and honestly, I have to find the link for it because I created so many Shein accounts and I don't know which one I bought it from. So once I find it, guys, I will let you guys know. I'll link it below. But the tips that I use, because of my preference, I love a straight nail tip. I do no C-curve. I also stopped using clear nail tips and started back using natural nail tips, because even when I do encapsulated sets, you really don't tell the difference between the natural nail tip and the clear nail tip. But again, this is all my preference. So if you guys love using clear nail tips, I'm all for it. Also, the natural nail tips are coming at a better price now versus the clear nail tips. Now, here's the fun part. So we're going in with our dehydrator. This is our Bond Aid. This is going to take every bit of oil off the nail plate if there is any on there. I'm going to go ahead and apply it to all 10 fingers. And then I'm going to go in with my Protein Bond by Young Nails. Now, with Bond Aid, you just want to do one coat. You don't want to oversaturate the nail with it. You just want to get it on where the nail plate is, and you don't want to put it on the skin at all. And then I'm going to go in with one coat of my Young Nails Protein Bond, and I'll go in with a second coat when I'm ready for the application. So I like to do all 10 fingers first with one coat of Protein Bond. Then when I'm ready to lay the acrylic, I will do my second coat hand by hand. So what I mean by that is, if I'm working on the left hand first, I'm going to put my second coat of Protein Bond on it, and then I won't touch the other hand until I'm ready to basically lay the acrylic on that hand with the Protein Bond. Now, if you guys don't know, Protein Bond is actually good for everything. Regular polish, gel polish, acrylic. I absolutely love it. I've used it for so many sets, and honestly, the retention rate is immaculate. Like, they really stand up to what they're promoting at their company. So for today's set, we are using Cover Pink by Young Nails, and we are going in with Young Nails monomer as well. I told you guys I absolutely love their system and everything about it. Now, before you are starting with any acrylic, you always want to make sure that you are burping your brush. I do want to just point out that when you're going into your monomer, you want to basically flatten your brush down inside of the monomer, getting out any bubbles and making sure that it's going to be a nice, I've already posted so many different videos on how I lay my beads, so I'm just going to let you guys watch this little demo here, and I'll take a break. I'll be back with you guys soon.
Now, depending where you are on your nail journey, you may still be struggling with wondering if you have to do 1 bead method, 3, 4, 5, 7 beads. Honestly, it's all up to you. Sometimes, me personally, I will do 1 bead method. Sometimes I'll do 4, maybe 5, depending on how I feel the structure of the nail is coming out. But I never really focus on solely just, oh, I have to do a 1 bead. While granted, if I'm doing like extremely active nails, like if they're very short, I'm not going to waste my time doing 3 or 4 beads. I am going to 1 ball that, like, no hands out. And really, once you learn the product that you're working with, this is why it is good to understand what brands you like and which one works best for you. Understanding the flow of that product will allow you to move faster regardless of temperature or whether you have a smaller brush or a bigger brush. I follow a nail tech who uses a size 5 brush and she gets sets done very quickly, and I'm just amazed at it. Currently in this video, I'm using a size 12 brush and I absolutely love it better than I love my 16 brush. Everything is really a comfortability level as well as building a relationship with the products that you are using. You cannot never practice with your products and expect to just be good at it. No. So don't worry about these people who are showing you, oh, this acrylic lays like butter, this is smooth, or it sets fast. No, I was one of those nail techs who everybody kept claiming Valentino just lays like butter, which it does. But if you do not know how to lay the acrylic, it's not going to lay like butter for you. If you don't know how to do the liquid to powder ratio, it's not going to work out in your favor. So you're just wasting your money and you're wasting product. But don't worry, girl. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. That's what I got you. I got you. The longer we go, the more we guys are going to learn and we're going to grow together. I wanted to show you guys the thumb action because with my thumb bead, I did do a couple of more beads than usual simply because I wanted to make sure that this thumb was so I am perfect. A little bit under the weather, guys, so I do apologize. I'm sounding so nasally right now and I'm out of breath, but bear with me. Now, the reason why I do my structured beads the way I do is because I know what needs to go where. The strength needs to be in the center of the nail, which is the stress area. This is the area between the natural nail and the tip. So basically you want this to be thicker than normal or thicker than the rest of the product, because if it breaks right here, you want the nail to be protected. You don't want the client's nail to just rip completely off. While at the same time, you want the free edge to be thin and no thicker than a credit card. You don't need a lot of product. So when someone's like, oh, I like thick nails, you have to explain to them the reasons why thick nails aren't always key to avoid breaking. And never be afraid to go back in. If you feel like a spot in your nail is a little bit thinner than the others, go back in, put that acrylic. If you feel like there's a lump or like a slight dent in there, add that product, because you will rather add that product while your client is there, shape it into perfection, and then let them leave rather than letting them go out with a dent and then wonder why you're not getting good reviews or you're not having returning clients. Now that the acrylic is laid, I just want to show you guys exactly how it looks. So I know I posted a video saying just get it on there. Yes, get it on there, but don't lay it sloppy to where you're having to file so much. Basically, don't worry too much about the perfected side of it. Just get it on there in the way that the tip is. So if you already pre-shape your tips, that means you're halfway there already. If your tip is shaped good, then your acrylic laying will be great as well. Now, when it comes to shaping the nail, I always want to make sure that I contour the nail into their sidewall. So have you ever had a nail where it's kind of wider than the client's finger? So when that happens, I always learn to contour the sides as well as the top of the body of the nail. So what I mean by that is I start with the sides. I make sure that my file is parallel to the side walls of the client's nail. And while I am on the side walls, I kind of angle the tip of it just to cover the top of the nail so that way it can blend that side down. While I'm filing my free edge, I like to go in a downward direction only because this gives me the best shape for my square and it gives it crisp, even if I'm doing my tapered square or if I'm doing my coffin. Now when it comes to the top of the nail, I always make sure that I kind of file it one direction, like at a slant, because I want to blend those sides out. I'm running out of breath right now, so I am going to post another video separately showing you guys exactly what I mean, because I know it's kind of hard to understand right now. And if you're anything like me, I like visuals, so I'm definitely going to show you guys what I mean. Now, when it comes to using your e-file, you basically want to follow the same steps that you did with the hand file. What you're doing is basically taking every scratch mark that you just placed on that nail, smoothing it out and making sure that everything is nice and flush. And I don't like to use a safety bit for this part because safety bits don't allow me to seal the cuticle properly how I like to. In this instance, my other bits were dirty, so I had no choice but to use my safety bit, and I was able to seal my cuticle using my acetone method. And this bit that I am using is a fine bit. Fine bits allow me to not have to buff the surface of the nail, even though I still do it just because it is a force of habit. But sometimes I don't necessarily feel the need to do. And while using my acetone method, if I wipe the body of the nail as well as take a cleanup brush and kind of like scrub the cuticle area, it melts it down into place. This also avoids me having to buff the nail. Now right here, I am going in with my cleanup brush and I am scrubbing my cuticle area with 100% acetone. I told you guys I have a force of habit, so yes, in this video I did use my extra fine safety bit along with my buffer, and I'm going back in with my acetone for the added touch to make sure that everything is nice and melted into place. Now this is just extra stuff that I do because I had time to do it, as well as it is a force of habit, but other times I will just opt out, for one or the other. But doing these little steps have increased my retention tremendously, and I honestly will never go back to doing it any other way. And I'm trying to share with you guys everything that I can in order to help you guys have a successful nail career, because I didn't have anyone to show me until maybe a couple years back. And while yes, sometimes you may need to pay for a nail class or an ebook in order to learn something in depth, I do feel like certain pieces of information can be provided for free. Now I'm going in with my matte top coat by Beetles. I absolutely love this top coat. A few top coats that I love for matte is Poochie's Nails, Beetles, as well as Koopa's matte top coat. They are amazing when it comes to using matte. Another key tip, I always use matte top coat whenever I'm applying designs or even if I'm doing a French. Now you don't need it to be super thick. Anytime you're using gel polish, you want it to be extremely thin. Applying gel polish should not change the shape of your nail. So anytime you put it on there, if you see it's like a glob in certain areas, be sure to wipe it off. If you have to, wipe the whole thing off and reapply. But basically the matte top coat allows me to glide my brush on top of the nail in a smooth transition, as well as keeping the gel polish from spreading, so it'll be in one area versus trying to kind of move. guys are not using an airbrush machine, I honestly don't know what your problem is. Now, if it's a health concern, I totally get it, but I use an N05 mask and I don't spill anything. I also use the Sabiland airbrush gel. That does not make you have to dilute it. It comes pre-diluted, so it's just perfect for the airbrush. While you can achieve this result with the eyeshadow palette, honestly, it's just a better look and it's easier to do it with an airbrush. Also, a lot of times it does take a little bit more work to get the proper effect or pigment with the eyeshadow. I've tried it and we went ahead and added some 3D flowers. Now, typically I would have used my 3D gel, molding gel, but I did not have it in white and I did not feel like painting it, so I went ahead and stuck to what I knew, which was my white acrylic. I will say this is going to be obsolete in the future. Like, acrylic flowers will never be a thing again because the molding gel is so much easier and faster. I will be posting another video on how to work with the molding gel. And there you have it, guys. This is how I created this beautiful design for my client. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave us a comment. Let us know how you guys are loving our channel, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. Bye.